How's everybody doing? How are we doing out there? We'll get some people funneling into the chat in a moment. Hope everybody is doing good. It's been 2 weeks since the last time we were at it with a live. So I hope all of you fine folks are making money, selling some items, doing everything we're supposed to do and fighting the good fight. As you guys know, the rules of the game, we don't stop until we beat the chat. And once the chat is over, it is a wrap, folks. If you can, hit the like button, see if we could beat a record. 850 likes is the record. Maybe we could beat it. I hope everybody is doing well. Hope everyone is doing good. If you do have some questions, please put a couple of question marks before your question so I don't miss it. Question mark, question mark, question mark. And I'll make sure to answer every single question that you guys have. And when I beat the chat, it is a wrap. So the first one in the chat, the gold medal pre-loved bargains, thriftwear, my man, second place. And Kimberly, third place. We appreciate you. How's everybody doing? Where are we reporting live from? Where are we? How are we going? We got people filling in very nicely. It's good to see you guys. Thriftwear says, was wondering if you weren't doing this anymore. Dude, it was just 1 week, man. And I had to do some other stuff that was a little bit more pressing because I needed every single moment, every single hour last week. So we're back again. If you guys do have questions, please get them in the comment section, get them in the chat, and let's knock all of them out and make sure we can make some money. So today's topic is summer slowdown. What happened? I'll be honest, I haven't heard anyone talk about summer slowdown this year. Did summer slowdown not happen? Do you guys have the summer slowdown? Did the summer slowdown skip us this year? Like, I haven't heard anybody talk about the summer slowdown. And usually at this time, people are crying the blues and wondering where the sales went and what's going on. I haven't heard anything in the chat. Summer slowdown. Are you guys still being affected, or did it not come this year? Larry M says, run a sale or do promoted listings or run both at the same time. They all serve different purposes. If you run a sale, it will give the buyer a cheaper price initially. If you do a promoted listing, it will give you a more preferential treatment in search. Or you could do both at the same time. You can run a sale, which gives the buyer a better price. It also gives you a different search slot if someone is searching low to high or high to low. And if you run a sale and do promoted listings, it will show your sale item, which maybe it's more enticing, at the top of the search on a certain percent basis as they, share the distribution of impressions. So they're different functions. Some people use one, some people use both, some people use none. So you can run a sale, make your item more enticing. You can do promoted listings, put it up there at the top. But either way, whatever we got to do to make our item more enticing or get more eyeballs on it, that's the name of the game. Found the Red Spain polo shirt, saw the sell through at 20%, but after some keywords saw it go up to 70%. Can you explain that? So the more keywords that you put into a search query, the more narrowed down the scope of the search gets. Versus if you do a broader search, it's going to get a lot more items that are not necessarily the same one as yours. So if you search Ralph Lauren, there's going to be 840,000 results with about 225,000 solds. If you search Ralph Lauren Spain polo shirt, there probably will be 115 results with about 85 solds. So the more in depth or the deeper you dive or the more narrowed your search query is on eBay, the more different result you're going to get. And if you're using Terapeak is a 100% exact search where eBay does take a little bit of liberty and show items that you best match. So it's just a different set of data that you have put into the search query, and it's going to give you a different result. Jaeger says summer speed up. That's what I'm talking about. I was charged $1.26 per promoted offsite fee. How do I stop this? The items were not even sold. So it sounds like you may be doing one of the kind of pay-per-click campaigns where you are promoting offsite at a certain dollar amount budget per day. And how to stop this is you need to go to your marketing tab and you need to look at the promotions that you are running. So eBay does have several different promotions. One is promoted listings, where you are going to give eBay a percentage of the sale and an increased final value fee. One of them is a promoted listings pay-per-click strategy, where you bid on words that people search, and whether or not someone buys yours or not, you will get charged for every single time that they do search the query. And then one is offsite, where maybe they put your banner on different kind of websites and things like that, and you have like a daily advertising budget. So go to your marketing tab, go to your promotions, and see what kind of campaigns you're running, and then turn off anyone that you don't want to turn on. Do you list all season, all year? Do you specifically list according to season? So for me, I list and wait. I do not wait and list. I have sold June. I have sold jackets in June, and I have sold swim trunks in December on Christmas. So I list and wait. I don't wait to list. Ricardo says, when do you expect everyone to have access to Better Lister? I applied a few days ago and haven't heard back. So everyone receives a thank you for signing up. So we released the software last Thursday, and between the group and between YouTube in the first 24 hours, we had about 7,500 people sign up. As you guys know, nothing brand new. You can open the floodgates to the extent of 7,500 people on day one. So we've been gradually getting through everyone, letting in people, a couple hundred people every single hour, every couple of hours, but every single day we are letting people in, and we hope to get everybody in shortly, get everybody in soon. But I appreciate everybody's patience. I appreciate everyone's instructions, excitement. And if you are interested, you could go to https://betterlister.ai. And on there, I released a AI listing software where you just upload the photos. It gets your titles correct. It gets your price. It gets all of your item specifics filled out. And it gets everything ready for you. So that way you could just launch the listing. Like I said, 7,500 people signed up for it literally in the first 24 hours. So we're getting through everybody. So I want everyone to get in as quickly as possible, and we're working around the clock for it. So taking the keywords that give me a better sell-through rate on Terapeak is better. I mean, you could look at it like that, but I prefer to look at the keywords on eBay, because it is going to give you a little bit more variance and a little bit clearer picture of everything. Versus Terapeak is only going to show you one thing, and that's exactly what you searched. Are there any insurance companies that will cover reselling inventory in a storage unit? There are. I don't have any experience with any of them, but there are businesses that will write a policy on it. Also, definitely check out your homeowner's policy. Some homeowner's policy does cover like your reselling business and your inventory that you would store at home. But if you are storing offsite, then there are companies out there, but I don't have any experience with any. When's the retirement barbecue? I had that one a long time ago. I'm just having fun right now and running up the scoreboard. Does group get priority sign up? So we did have a link specifically for the group. And people that signed up under that link was separate. People that signed up under the YouTube link was separate. Can you talk a bit about listing limits for your AI? We don't have any listing limits. If you want to list a bajillion items, then list your heart away and bless your heart. You could list a bajillion of them. It doesn't matter. Any ideas on making relationships other than going to the flea market? You have to put yourself in the position where those people are doing commerce and those people are doing business. If you, you can go to a rag house. There's tons of stuff happening there. You can go to the bins and make relationships. You can go to thrifts and make relationships. You could go to the flea. You could go everywhere. You can make relationships on social media. My wife was doing something the other day, and some lady passed by who was buying and selling clothes or something. So my wife got her number. So we made a relationship there. You could literally make relationships everywhere, and you just got to keep your head on a swivel. That's all. Literally everywhere you can make a relationship. You can even make a relationship inside of the chat. So like if Travis lives in, Nova Scotia, put in the chat, hey, I'm looking for people in Nova Scotia to do business with. And maybe you can make a relationship, and maybe you guys can make some money. Very good. Susan said she signed up on Better Lister, but it was at the max. So yeah, right now there is a wait list. Like I said, we had 7,500 people sign up between the group and YouTube in the first 24 hours. So we do have a substantial amount of people using the app right now. We are creating a substantial amount of listings every single day. So everything is going good. You just got to take it slow, scale slowly, everything that I talk about here on this channel. And everything will be totally fine in a couple of days. And you guys will forget one day that you ever used to manually list. Can you imagine that? You are going to forget one day that we actually used to manually list. So I suspect in the next couple of days, we'll have everybody accepted from the wait list, and we'll be rocking and rolling. Because I know the folks that are on there are rocking and rolling. They're enjoying it. They're having a good time and they're getting their time back and they're increasing their listings. So all around, everyone is doing good. Thank you very much, Gary. Can you please give a link to the new AI listing software in the chat right here? Here it is. And I also did a video on Friday where I did a full demo. And inside of that video, I didn't touch any keys. All I did was assign the photos, and it put accurate title structure, pertinent keywords, generated every single item specific, gave you the price, put it into the correct category. All you would have to do is check the boxes, press submit, and the listing went up. So it's a very good tool. I put all of my nearly 20 years of eBay experience and know-how into the program. It is, as far as I'm concerned, top notch and very, very, very advanced to everything that's out there. Even what eBay is able to do, eBay is not even able to come close to what we're currently doing on the software, and we're only on day number 5 or 6. So the plan is to take this as far as it could go. The plan is to list as many listings as we possibly can for all of you fine folks. And as I said, we are generating thousands and thousands and thousands of listings every single day, literally thousands of listings every single day. So last Wednesday, there was no live. Was it like having a report due the next morning? We have been working around the clock almost for about 6 months. And this is the thing, like I originally planned to launch the software a month ago, but it's kind of like one of those things like, all right, let's just do it in 2 more weeks to make like this one thing perfect. Let's do it in 2 more weeks and let this one thing be perfect. Let's do it in 2 more weeks and let this one thing be perfect. And like at that rate, we were never going to release it. So we made it as perfect as possible. Day number 1, released it. People were able to get listings up. Day number 3, 4, 5, 6, beautiful. I think today we had 3 errors so far on the entire site, and we've generated thousands and thousands and thousands of listings. So it's trending in the right direction. We're doing well. And when I say error, that's like a listing couldn't generate or something after like out of like tens of thousands of listings that have been generated. So, there's no right time to do anything. And there's no real benefit for timing the market. Just time in the market is the benefit. So we wanted to release it 2 weeks ago, but we just kept saying, hey, let's just go back and fix this. But sometimes you just got to jump, and sometimes you just got to go for it. And that was one of those times. Like we just had to jump and go for it. Otherwise, it still wouldn't have been released, and we would be sitting here 6 months later and still not be released, because we want to make sure, like, this one thing is inconsequential. Is 100% rock solid. Like it's inconsequential. It doesn't matter. Release the software, get rocking and rolling, and like in the last 5 or 6 days, like we've made more progress than we probably have like in the last 5 or 6 weeks, because we've already had everything so fine-tuned, so dialed in, that we were just focusing on like the obscure and the fringe, which ultimately at the end of the day didn't matter. We had a working program. We had the accuracy that we desired, and the title structure is great. The keywords that it uses are great. The price is great. The category is great. I'm very, very happy with how the software is performing. And again, it's only day 5. Like week 5, it will be even better than what it is today. So, we're always learning, constantly learning. The only downside is that there's so many people on the wait list, and I appreciate everyone on the wait list and everyone's excitement on the wait list. And we are working on getting everybody through. But as I said, we had 7,500 people sign up between the group and the YouTube link in the first 24 hours. And if you remember back, like when the United States, when they released nationwide healthcare, the site got bombarded by so many people that for the first week, 4 people were able to get all the way through and sign up. So like we don't want to put it into the position where like it's broken for everybody and just get everybody on board. We're going to go slow. We're going to scale, just like I've done with my eBay business, just like I've done with all of my other businesses. We're going to make it scale, and we're going to take this thing all the way. Mark my words, we will take this thing all the way. With the better lister, item specifics are the ones filled out the best or the most important, and others not important. So we have it set up to do the recommended and the required. We are thinking about adding some of the additional, but some of the additional, again, are like fringe and really most people don't really fill those out anyways, but we are thinking about adding some of the more additional ones. But I think for the most part, like across every single category, it probably puts more item specifics than 99.9% of people that sell on eBay. And most importantly, it probably puts more accurate item specifics than 99.9% on eBay. And it doesn't work just for clothing. As I showed in the demo video, it works for cameras, works for printers, works for shoes, works for hats. It works for every single category. And it'll give you a good title structure, all the item specifics. Like you would literally, if you wanted to, could not even press a button on the computer and all of your listings would launch and you wouldn't have to do anything. Tina said they left CVS last week to go full time. Let's go. I worked for CVS for 5 years, from when I was 18 to when I was 23. CVS crew unite. Let's go. In the chat, Chiching King says relationship is the #1 way to build a reselling business. 100%. Ricardo, we appreciate you. Thank you very much. How do you get on the wait list? Just go to the website right there, betterlister.ai, jump on the wait list. You could still join right now. We're getting people in as fast as we possibly can. What is more recommended to list by jeans, shirts on day? I prefer to be as active as possible in as many categories as I possibly can. I feel that you get a best result if you are as active as possible in as many categories as possible. Because once upon a time when I was listing 120 items a day by myself every single day, to give myself kind of like an easy day, I would save up hats and list those on the weekend and then just bust out 120 hats. I found that when I listed hats, I sold more hats, not just the new hats. When I listed hats, I even started to sell older hats. And some people in the group have shared that same experience where when they list items in a certain category, they sell items of a certain category. So for me personally, I prefer to be as active as possible in as many categories as possible. Shout out to James, channel member. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Is BetterLister compatible with an iPad? It is compatible with mobile and it is compatible with desktop. I'm probably, I assume so. It probably depends on the browser. So maybe instead of Safari, maybe try Firefox or Chrome on the iPad, and that'll probably be just fine. We still have a small store and a storage locker style facility and have liability insurance that also covers fixtures. Very cool. And Pete says he had to call around to find that. Very cool. Does it maintain listing photos on BetterLister? So if eBay drops the listings, it will recognize that. No, because we don't save like all of your information, all of your data. Like we don't save your password. All that stuff is stored on eBay. But I can say like I've been selling on eBay for almost 20 years. I've listed hundreds of thousands of items. Not one time has eBay ever lost all of my photos and I had to start from scratch. And I think that when the day comes that eBay loses everyone's photos across the platform, I think we might have bigger fish to fry. Like we might wake up and need MREs that day. So, so far so good. The new listing program is great for veterans like me. For beginners, it might get them in trouble because they might list too much and not have shipping and inventory processes in place. And my man Darren, we have been talking about that on the channel for 9 months. Did everyone notice? Did everyone see? I have been prepping everyone for like 9 months, ad nauseum, where people are probably tired of hearing me say, hey, these things are coming. These tools are coming. They're going to impact your business. You need to get ready. Like the biggest thing that people need to do if they are going to start listing more items, they need to get their processes in order. They need to get their processes straight. So if you're going to start listing more items, that comes with more storage, that comes with more picking, that comes with more packing. So you got to get your processes streamlined and you got to make sure that you scale responsibly. Always scale responsibly. Very good, very good. So Luis says, can you fix the group member link for BetterLister? It isn't working anymore. It's not working anymore because people are very smart. So the link that we had, people figured out how to get on the program when we didn't want them on the program. So we had to disable that link because the link for the group was made differently because I tried to give you guys, first in, first in. So we had to disable that link because people found sneaky ways to get in even after we turned it off, which I'm not upset. I'm not mad because I'm one that likes to find sneaky links as well. And when eBay, rolled out the offers to watchers, I was the first one to find the link, because if you know how eBay works, you know how the hierarchy of links work. I was the first one to find the offers to watchers, and it rolled out about a week later to everybody. And if people are in the group, they could recall, I sent offers to watchers to everybody. And in 1 hour, I sold 700 items in 1 hour. It might have been the biggest catastrophe I could have created for my business, but luckily we got everything picked and shipped. But I'm not mad at people that figure out URLs. So shout out to those people. How do I confirm email for BetterLister? All you have to do is just sign up and you're good to go. Don't worry. With how much more time BetterLister has given Jeffrey to source, how long do you think it'll be before there's no loot left for the rest of us? I have been talking about this a lot on the podcast, and I actually recorded a podcast today, kind of like my eBay AI manifesto, where I've put all of my thoughts of the last 9 months, because I've been talking about this, bite by bite, episode by episode for 9 months. And I think that it is very, very helpful for us, because it helps us process the listing process, because that's the part of reselling that most people hate. And we've eliminated that. We've eliminated that for you. You don't have to spend your time worrying about title structure. I've done it for you. You don't have to spend your time worrying about keywords. I've done it for you. You don't have to spend your time filling out item specifics. I've done it for you. But also, with any kind of advancement or improvement with technology, there's going to be an equal and opposite reaction. So like now we have to start thinking about the days where Goodwill starts implementing this. And I do have a podcast coming out, probably in about 3 weeks publicly. I released it last week in the group, where I interviewed a manager for a nationwide thrift store. This is a thrift store that everyone has heard of. This is a thrift store that everyone has gone to. This is a nationwide chain. And I interviewed a manager, and the manager gave us some very enlightening behind the scenes, behind the curtains. He gave us all the secrets. And he was saying that they are required or expected to identify every single item within 3 seconds. And you might think like, dang, that's really fast. Like you got to identify an item in 3 seconds. That is ridiculously slow. One day, someone, probably very soon, will have a program that goes on an overhead camera, and you take items from your left hand, you put them into your right hand, and every single item that comes inside of the back door at Goodwill or Salvation Army or the thrift store of your choice will go right through this machine, this camera, and this machine, this camera will not take 3 seconds to identify the item. It will be identified in a 10th or in a 100th of a second. It's going to zap it. There's going to be 3 lights on the wall. One's going to be green. Green means it goes online. One's going to be yellow. Yellow means it goes out to the store. And it's going to be red. Red means it goes in the trash, which also Goodwill will sell pallets of trash. So the technology is here. The technology is coming. We have been talking about this at length. I'm sure you guys are tired of it. I've been talking about the technology when it comes on the sourcing side. I've been talking about getting a segment of inventory that's just for you. No one is picking through it. No one is stepping on it. Inventory just for you. The days of walking in Goodwill and the doors automatically opening and it's 77 degrees, ice cold, and Taylor Swift is playing on the radio, I think the days are numbered. It's not today, it's not tomorrow, but a couple years down the line, I think the pickings are going to get very slim. And I think that we've been very spoiled, myself included, because we've been able to walk into a thrift store where they are voluntarily giving us profitable inventory. And I think that we're going to have to start getting dirty again. And I think we're going to have to start depending on relationships. And I don't know if we can all, as a collective of hundreds of thousands of resellers, can depend on thrift stores for forever from here on out. How do you know what category? Let me catch up with the chat. How do you know what category to put certain items in? For example, the Harley leather jackets, what category? For me personally, I like to stay on the most common categories while versus going to kind of like one of the subcategories. So me personally, I would put it into men's coats, jackets, and vests versus putting it into like Harley Davidson memorabilia. I personally wouldn't do that. I would stick at the higher categories. Very good, very good. Does BetterLister provide description? It does. It will generate you a description, or it will give you the choice to use your own template. It's up to you. What would you say would be the most bang for the buck doing 80 items a day because I can list 30 items in 45 minutes to 1 hour? I think that if you are going to use Better Lister and make no improvements to your business, make no improvements to your life, do not use Better Lister. If you're going to use Better Lister, make an improvement to your business so that way you can list more items and sell more items so you can make more money. That's one way. Use Better Lister. So instead of taking an hour to list 30 items, you could list 30 items in 5 minutes, and then you can go to the beach. You can go to karate class. You could go fishing. You can hang out with your wife. You can throw the baseball with your kid. Get your time back. So if you are going to do nothing and only do the same, just manually list your items. If you are going to list more items and make more money, use Better Lister, because you can take the same amount of time and get double or triple or quadruple the same amount of listings up. Or if you are going to utilize it to get your time back and then go ride your bike every single day, that would be a good use for it as well. Super chat, I appreciate you, 199. Thank you very much. Not necessary, but highly appreciated. We will put that into the flea market food review fund. Very good. So Big Wavo says the same thing happens to them. It goes a while without selling a hat. List 2 or 3, boom, the old ones sell. I agree. Linda, have you hit the like button yet? That's right. Hit the like button. If you hit the like button, you get a sale every single time. If you hit the dislike button, you will get a return request and it will be an item not as described. So the choice is yours. I don't make the rules. You hit the like button, you get a sale every single time. Very good. Very good. Josh said, I'm surprised no one is asking about the wait list. You missed it. That was like question number 3. Does the program work for rare graded cards or one-on-one cards? So cards are much easier for the software to do because it has all the words on it and there's already a database made for it. So cards and media is very, very easy for software to do because you only have to look at the first photo. So the software only has to look at the first photo if it's going to do anything media related or anything that there's already been a category or a catalog created on it. You only have to look at the first photo. If you want to do things that are more complex, clothing, shoes, electronics, things like that, you have to look at every single photo. And every single time a program looks at a photo, it costs money. So it costs money to generate listings. It costs money to fill in item specifics. It costs money to do your title, your keywords. All of that stuff costs money. There's a cost from our side. And if you want low quality listings, you look at the first photo and you rock and roll, and then you're going to have to manually list whatever kind of item specific of your choice. If you want high quality listings, you have to look at every single photo that the person is uploading. That way you can give them a good title. That way you can give them good and accurate keywords. That way you can give them all the item specifics. You can give them a price and you can put it in the correct category. And you don't have to do it in a batch. You don't have to say, okay, here's all of one category. Here's all of another category. Here's all of another category. You can literally upload 50 different items in 50 different categories, and it'll work all of them out just the same. You press submit, you're ready to rock and roll, because there are 20,000 different categories on eBay. And on any given day, if you list 20 items on any given day, you might be working inside 20 different categories. So it is a monumental undertaking to do what we have done, and eBay is not able to do it. And so far, up to this point, nobody else on the face of the earth has been able to create a listing software that works in every single category. Up until this time, nobody has been able to do it. And this kind of software, realistically speaking, would take a team of 10, 20, or 50 people and cost millions and millions of dollars of research and development. And those people would still create a horrible software because they do not know how eBay works. I've been doing eBay every single day of my life for almost 20 years. I have eat and sleep. My wife is in the chat. She knows how much I have bled for the eBay machine. And I have poured all of my information inside of this software to create listings as perfectly as possible in the way that eBay wants them done. And people are listing items, they're finding success. But what we have been able to do is extremely difficult, and it is extremely accurate because we're reading every single item. So the more information that your item has, a box, words, UPC, a catalog, those are easy. You could do that with your eyes closed. That's kindergarten level. if you want to do a listing of this blank shirt and get it right every single time, that's what's always going to separate us from everybody else. And it will know exactly this is a Lululemon shirt. It will know exactly what model it is, and it will give you an accurate title structure, pertinent keywords, all the item specifics, and the price filled out. The better listed email, wait list email. So as far as wait list, guys, if you've entered your email in, you are good to go. We had over 7,500 people sign up under both links from the group and on YouTube on the first day. And if you signed up a few minutes after the video, or an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, there's thousands and thousands of people on the list. We're getting through everybody. Believe me, I want everybody on, but we have to do it smart. I can't crash the program. We got to do it smart. We have people that are working with it. They don't want to go back to manual listing, and we are generating tens of thousands of listings. So everyone will get on, trust me. What recommendations do you have to source when fleas are closed during the weekends? You got to go right back to the thrifts. I've been there and done that. If it's rainy day, I'm back on the thrift route, my man. Have you faced any backlash for being the first one to market AI listing software? I imagine people probably have negative feelings towards AI and it changes it brings to people's livelihoods. Absolutely not. Everyone has been totally positive. And look, it was bound to happen by somebody. Somebody was going to create an AI listing software. Might as well be me. I have the most amount of experience on eBay, probably top 0.1% out of the face of the earth. I'm sure there's many people that have a lot of experience just like me. There's not too many. I have listed more than just about everybody else on the face of the earth. I have studied eBay more than just about everybody on the face of the earth. I already figured out eBay's title structure before eBay came out with their recommendation. And I have been talking my talk on YouTube inside of the group. I have thousands of hours of talking my talk recorded. And if eBay would have come out and give some sort of different recommendation on something that we've been talking about, it could have sunk my ship and I look like a clown. When eBay came out with their recommendation for title structure, I had already been telling people that this is the move in the group for several years previously. So eventually someone was going to come out with this software. They were probably going to originate in Silicon Valley and never even used eBay before and give you guys a horrible experience. I would prefer someone who actually knows how eBay works and give you a better experience and know what eBay is looking for, and someone that has sold hundreds of thousands of items and millions of dollars on the platform. Probably going to be a better software after that. Very good. For an item that's been listed for 14 days with a healthy margin, what discount percentage do you typically recommend sending to watchers? Whatever kind of discount you are happy with and that you can afford. If I tell you and say, hey, do a discount of 80% and now you lose money, that would be irresponsible of me. So you need to come up with some kind of aged inventory markdown policy that's happy for you, that fits your expectation with consideration of how many items can I afford to store. If you live in New York City, like our friend Audrey, she has to sell items within 1 month. So her markdown strategy is going to be way more aggressive than Jeffrey, who lives in Indiana and can store stuff for cheap. So it's all going to depend on what your expectations are and what you can afford. And you need to develop rules inside of your business for aged inventory markdown policy. Very good, very good. Chat has jumped. Please, once I beat the chat, it is a wrap, folks. It's over. It's done. A wrap. Where we go? Linda says she's definitely not tired of it. So exciting. Very good. Thank you very much. Where are we? Will rag houses still be a good option when thrift stores start listing their own stuff? I think that there's going to be different waves and iteration of the technology getting into different kind of markets. So I think thrift stores are probably going to be one of the most earliest adapters. I think rag houses will probably be second, third, fourth, fifth wave, and it depends on the operator. If the owner or the operator of the rag house is very old, set in their ways, been doing this for 50 years, probably not going to be overly excited to start introducing AI and software into the business. That's going to be way more safer than a Goodwill Salvation Army. So you have to look at what the place is, and you have to look at who the place is. when will I be able to use Better Lister? I'm still on the wait list. Like I said, we had 7,500 people sign up on the first 24 hours. We are getting people in every single day. There's a ton of people using it. We're generating tons of listings. We will get everybody in as quickly as possible, I promise. Will the software identify bootlegs? It has the capability of doing it, but that is not my responsibility. That is not my obligation, because some companies that are not aggressive today can be aggressive tomorrow at a drop of a dime without any kind of notification. And that is outside of the scope of the service that we provide for you. So once upon a time, Puma, you could list everything. And then, as you guys know, overnight, Puma literally took down almost every single item on eBay. That's outside of the scope of my responsibility. My responsibility is to generate you a listing that is accurate, put the ball on the tee, you take the swing. Once we start getting into Vero protection and all of this and all of that, all we have to do is be wrong one time. That's it. So you guys, just like always, you guys got to be up. You got to keep your ear to the streets. You got to know what's going on. You got to know what's fake. You got to know what's real. That's on you. All the time, that's on you. Our responsibility inside the scope of what we need to provide is an accurate listing. You guys still need to know what's real or fake. Do you have a general idea when Better Lister will be available for Depop? Probably not for a little while, because next we're going to go to the UK, to Australia, to Canada. We do have some other plans of things that we're trying to do that, I don't want to talk about right now, but just know I play chess, not checkers. So we got a lot of things on the horizon and a lot of plans. And if you know me, I'm coming for everything. Everything I'm going for. Very good, very good. Does Better Lister work with hard goods and vintage goods? It does. It doesn't matter the category. We got my man James in the chat. Bold finds. I love it. How you doing, my man? Is the server multi-threaded or single-threaded, or there is a queue like per task? Does each user get a thread and share resources? We are generating tens of thousands of listings. There is, like, if at any given time there are hundreds or thousands of people on the website, you don't wait in a line of hundreds of thousands. You submit your listing and you rock and roll. There is no queue one at a time. Absolutely not. You do not have to wait. Right now, there's hundreds of people on the website, and right now there are thousands of listings being generated today. You do not have to wait. Absolutely not. Ryan says, I'm starting to think that you are actually AI. Man, one of these days I will be able to turn this thing on Wednesday at 8 p.m. and you guys are going to have some version of me that ain't even me. I'll be on the couch and they'll be coming in here and answering the question exactly how I would answer it. Best way to ship fitted hats: in a box all the time. We use 7x7x7 boxes. Serial, have you promoted something very high on a few high dollar ones in which Serial, please write it over again, please. There's some typos in there, please. I shipped 3 items in the same box yesterday doing combined shipping and uploaded the same tracking number for all 3 items. Only one of them is tracking and the other 2 are not. Make sure that it's the same tracking number, and it should be fine. But what is ultimately important, if it's tracking on USPS.com and if the tracking number is, then you're good to go. Can the software handle tools like sockets and wrenches? It handles pretty much everything with a high level of accuracy. I've tried to trick it and fool it before, and I've had a very tough time tricking and fooling it. Does your local Goodwill do dollar days on Sunday? My local Goodwill don't do dollar days on no days. I ain't never seen nothing for $1 at my Goodwill, personally. What is the best method of contact for Better Lister support? Support@betterlister.ai. Support@betterlister.ai. We got my man Edgar in the chat. How you doing? How does Better Lister compare to List Perfectly? I don't have any experience with List Perfectly. List Perfectly is a cross-listing software. We don't do cross-listing. We just generate accurate eBay listings, and you don't have to press no buttons. If you want to check out a demo, you can go on my page. I will put the link in the chat. I did a demo last Friday. I think I listed 20 items in under 5 minutes while laughing and joking with you guys and just hanging out and having fun. And it used none of my brain power, and I didn't have to put forth any effort. That's the link to that video in the chat. How do we get it? What kind is it? I missed the first part. Watch that video link that I just put into the chat. Would you list a vintage Nike Giants baseball pullover under men's shirts or MLB? Always MLB. How about items that can't really be found on Google, like one-of-a-kind items? Can better listers still provide an accurate listing? I mean, if your whole business revolves on one-of-a-kind items that you can't even find on Google, you're an anomaly. So it does a very, very, very good job at accurately describing what you upload in the images. I'm trying not to self-promote, but I did come up with a cool software for inventory. Would love to share it with the reselling community. Could I share it in the Facebook group? Maybe just send me a message. There's been a lot of people throughout the history of the group that have tried to even offer me boatloads of money to come into the group and advertise to the group. And I've said no every single time because I don't want the group to turn into some kind of thing where people are constantly pitching to people in there. I've never allowed it one time, not even one time. I didn't even post my reseller ruler in the group. So I'm very, very protective and I'm very, very careful of that because I feel it is part of my responsibility to make sure that it stays a help with your reselling business focus group. So send me a message and take a look at it and check it out. What is the best recommendation for a new seller to increase their speed taking photos? It's just about doing reps. You can also go to my very first video on the channel and I show how to take photos in 30 seconds. And the best thing to understand and look at is what are you doing that they are not doing? What extra steps do you have that they don't? And that's what you got to figure out. Because if you're doing all this other stuff and trying to speed up and compare yourself to someone who's not doing all that extra stuff, you're doing yourself a disservice. So look at what other people are not doing and look at what you are doing. So go back to my very first video and see how I take the photos and then compare and contrast and see what works best for you. Do you have any experience in custom white labeling for jewelry? Do you have any experience in custom white labeling? If so, can you share your journey? Me personally, no. I have always sold branded items. Was going to DM you with the price recommendations. Will the price convert currency from USD to Australia? So when we release the UK version, it will be the UK version. It will be tailored to that market. When we receive the Australia version, it will be tailored to Australia. So Tyler, he's the GOAT. I don't want to go too far into it and put his business out, but Tyler in the chat, he is the GOAT of clothing in Australia. I believe he's the king. That guy does a lot of money in Australia. But when we do release it to the Australia, it will be totally tailored to them. When is it available? It's available right now. Betterlister.ai in the chat, there's a link. We do have a bit of a waiting list because 7,500 people signed up in the first 24 hours. Will group members who signed up on the day get access by July 1st? That's 2 weeks away. Everyone will be in very soon because this is the thing about scaling. At first, we can let in a little bit of people, a little bit of people, a little bit of people. And then eventually you could start letting in 100 people, 100 people, 100 people. And eventually we'll be able to start letting in 1,000 people every single time. So we're getting to the point where we can start letting in these big amounts of people. And pretty soon everybody will be on. You just got to have a little bit of patience as we make sure we do this the right way and we don't, make the experience, diminish for anyone who is on it. So right now there's a ton of people on it. Like as I speak, they're generating listings for their eBay stores. So we just got to make sure that we scale responsibly and that's all. But everyone will be in like pretty soon. Let me catch up with the chat. How are you? Is everything good? I appreciate that. Everything is going good. Thank you very much. How are you doing? Do I need to get my eBay packages scanned individually at the post office or can I drop them off? The safest thing to do is to get them scanned individually. How about postcards? That's what I sell. Postcards are easy to do. Any type of media is very easy to do. Anything with a barcode, anything that's already been cataloged, DVDs, video games, media, it's all very, very easy to do. When you start getting into other categories where you actually have to do some thinking and generation and things like that, that's much more difficult to do. So any type of media, like they've had like media centric listing softwares for like almost 10 years. They already have catalogs. Like you could just scan a barcode and it'll generate the listing, and the listing is done. So they've already had that for 10 years. What they've never had is be able to upload a picture of anything in the world and it'll give you something that is accurate. And that's what we do. So media is very easy. Paper stuff, that stuff is very easy to do because the information is out there and it's abundant. So like if there's any catalog for it, if there's a UPC, if there's words on it, if there is schematics anywhere on the internet, that's very, very easy to find. But if it's just a black t-shirt, that's where you really need to start thinking. And that's where the program is worth its weight in gold. Is it the same tracking, copy and pasted? It doesn't update on eBay, but it does on the carrier's website. Will I get 2 defects? You should be fine. If you do get defects, just call eBay. But two, tracking uploaded on time without validated is not going to sink your ship. But if you wanted to, you could call eBay once you do see those defects, and they would remove them, no problem. Have you promoted a few high dollar items, very high, breaking even in a new niche to get more eyes and followers? No, absolutely not. I personally believe people are eBay shoppers. People are not serial shoppers. So like they come to eBay to shop. They don't necessarily go to your store to shop, especially on the first, second, or third transaction. Maybe if you're doing constant business with them, maybe they go to your store and shop from you. But I think the large majority of people that shop on eBay. They don't shop from your individual store. Brian says, thanks for Better Lister. It's awesome. Very good. Thank you very much. What logo is on the hat? Always representing for the home team, the Miami Marlins. And again, for the home team, you're looking at the back-to-back world champion, Florida Panthers, right here in my neighborhood. Back-to-back world champion Florida Panthers, hockey. And you got a guy who don't watch hockey talking that talk about how great the Florida Panthers are. Like no one in South Florida cares about hockey. And we have won the Stanley Cup 2 years in a row. And literally nobody cares. We'd rather go to the beach than, talk about hockey, but that's all right. Hold another L, back-to-back world champions. And all we want to do is collect trophies on this channel. That's it. We just want to collect trophies on this channel. Karen says she just sold a linen blazer right after she hit the like button. That's it. I'm telling you, hit the like button, you get a sale. I struggle a lot with my inventory, and this helped me a lot, so I just thought I could share with the community. Absolutely. Yeah, send me a message for sure. Thank you. Where's the podcast? What is the Facebook group called? The Facebook group called is the Reseller Greatness Group. We have 2,500 people in it every single month. I do the morning call every single day. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about streamlining processes. Friday, Linda in the chat, she is going to do a junk drawer Flex Friday tutorial. Monday, we are going to talk about your unfair advantage wherever you're local in your area. Because down here for me, I get a lot of golf gear. I get a lot of Tommy Bahama. Where if you live in Freeport, Maine, maybe you're an LL Bean expert. Where if you live in Denver, Colorado, you have Melanzana and things like that. And like maybe people in the chat have never even heard of Melanzana, but Melanzana is from Colorado, so they find it a lot. So they need to know about it. So every single day we talk about that. I do the morning call. We have calls on every single niche inside of the group, live calls led by experts. Linda in the chat, she does the jewelry call. She also does the AI call. We do have an AI call in the group. Right now, the media call is going on, and we just had the car part sellers call. So resellergreatness.com will give you that information. But the podcasts are here on YouTube. You just got to go to my channel, and all the videos that are 1 hour, those are all podcasts. Sometimes they're with a guest. Sometimes it's just with me. Susan says, Better Lister is amazing. So much time saved. Have always hated the little details and now don't have to worry about it. Just a quick, I like that. Quick, proof, and poof. We might have to give you royalties on that one. Just a quick proof and poof. So yeah, you just proofread it and poof, lifts it. I like that. Very good, Susan. That's very funny. Very good. Yeah, just do a quick little proofread. Make sure you're in agreement with everything that it gives you, and then poof, make it go away. That was very clever. Very good. That's right up there with Charlotte, who has a trademark, a Tech and Sports trademark on when in doubt, zoom out. Because sometimes we talk to people and they're like, oh, sales are down. And you're like, for what time frame? This weekend. When in doubt, zoom out. Look at the big picture. Look at the big graph. So now you, Susan, you get a trademark. Just a quick proof and poof. I love it. That was very good. Signed up for Better Lister, put me in the queue. We're working on getting everyone through the queue. We had 7,500 people sign up between the group and YouTube within the first 24 hours. So we should have everybody in shortly. We're working through it. We're rocking and rolling. We have tons of people in there. We're creating tons of listings right now. Any tips on improving? Chat jumps real quick. Where are we? All right. Any tips on improving lighting without getting the professional 3-point light system? We have this light up here inside of the ceiling fan. That's kind of like one of those fan lights with LEDs. That really, really helps a lot. You can also take pictures by a window to get some natural light, some daylight. But you can also keep an eye out, on OfferUp, on Facebook Marketplace, on Let Go for some really cheap and inexpensive lights. You can also use the LED panel ones. Those don't take up as much room. So there are a lot of options, but daylight works very nice. These fan lights work very nice. There are some options for you to do, but you can get some inexpensive options as well from like Facebook Marketplace and stuff. Very good. I know you showed how Better Lister AI nailed it on finding item flaws. How does it do it? How does it do on color? Color is very easy. It can tell what color it is, no problem. Was listening to a morning call, had jumped off. What is a trustworthy authentication app for wallets and purses? Drop a post in the group because there's different apps for different items. So whatever the brand is, just drop a post and say, hey, I'm looking for an authentication app for this specific brand. And probably I'll tag Rachel if no one else chimes in. And Rachel is pretty good at that stuff there too. So just drop a post in the group and just say, hey, I have this particular brand. What kind of app can I look at? And then we'll get you all set up with that. Vasquez Vintage, we appreciate you very much. What are the 4 light boxes you use for taking photos? So I show that in my very first video. Not any specific brand is better than another one. Just any of those, box photo lights would work, and you can get them, pretty affordably on Amazon. Would a male mannequin help with selling men's clothing? I mean, it could, especially maybe categories like blazers and suits, but you also have to weigh like how much more time is it going to take to prep the mannequin versus doing a flat lay. But some people swear by it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Taking any brand ambassadors for the new AI. Right now, you're looking at the brand ambassador. I wear a lot of hats in a lot of companies, and that's one of the hats that I wear right now. With Better Lister, are the photos still hosted on eBay? Absolutely. Everything is still hosted on eBay. Have you been taking care of yourself? We appreciate you and need you to eat and sleep occasionally. Yeah, so I think since Wednesday up until yesterday, so Wednesday till Monday, I think I slept like 8 hours total. And I think I ate 12 sausages in the span of those days. And I'm not talking Polish sausage like hot dogs. I'm talking like little pancake sausages like this. I think I ate 12 pancake sausages between Wednesday and Monday. And I think I slept for like 8 hours between Wednesday and Monday. And that wasn't like 8 hours good. That was like 8 hours cat nap. But as you guys know, I don't need a lot of gas in my car to get started. So I'm just ready to rock and roll every single day of the week. But I appreciate it. Will there be a limit on how many people are allowed to use Better Lister? No, it's for everybody. And one day, hopefully, literally everybody uses it. But for right now, rock and roll, get your listings up. What up, Jake? Just got my sale for the thumbs up. We appreciate you. Pop Chaser says Florida turned into a hockey state between the Panthers and the Lightning. Who would have guessed it? Yeah. So, all right. So in the chat, hockey fans, out of the last X years, whatever it is, 5 years, because I believe the Lightning won a couple. Out of the last X years, how many of the Stanley Cups have come to Florida? And Pop, they hate that. They hate that in Canada. They hate to take a L to Florida in hockey from Canada. When are you going to sport a Florida Panthers hat? I'll tell you this. I used to have a lot of really, really cool Panthers hats. They're all gone. Once they started winning in the playoffs, all my good Panther hats sold. All my scripts, the big logos, they all sold. Dunk City Sports, I see Florida in the icon. Shout out to you. We got Kayla in the chat. She hosts a scheduling call, so we have that as well, for parents and things like that. Chat jumps. Okay. Once I beat the chat, it's a wrap, folks. So get your questions in. Oh, you guys are on the ropes already. Early. Huevo says they just found out about Melanzana. Absolutely. We've talked about that brand a lot in the group. Do you know how I can find dead stock? Absolutely. I had a video, 2 weeks ago on Monday, where I found a bunch of dead stock in New York City. And then about 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago, maybe 10 months ago at this point, when we went to California, I found a bunch of dead stock in San Francisco. So you need to look for the indicators that this person has been here for a long time. You need to be able to judge the character and the attributes of the person and say, is this a person that throws stuff away? Or is this a person that keeps stuff in the basement because they've owned this building for 30 years? And if they are option number two, you ask the questions and you rock and roll. Does it use aesthetic keywords like cottagecore, bloke core? That's a new one. Corp core. It all depends on what we want it to do. If you guys wanted to do cottage core and fairy core, we can make it do whatever you guys want it to do. Top rated plus same day shipping, 60-day returns. I scheduled pickups and the driver had not showed up last week. If I change to 1 day handling to give me a buffer, does that affect my standing in search? It does not. 1 day handling time and free returns will make you top rated plus. You'll be absolutely fine. But I would personally always have a standard cutoff time where if the driver doesn't show up, I'm out of here. I'm going to the post office. I'm dropping it off by myself. Does Better Lister always come up with a buy it now price, or would it recommend an auction for something more subjective like items in the collectible category? Maybe we can think about implementing that, but for right now, that would be your choice. And you gotta, consider like what's the desirability, how rare is it, how many people are looking for this. But for the most part, most people are gonna list buy it now. But if you wanted to change it to auction, you could. Is this AI learning from all of our corrections before we publish listings? AI is always learning from everything from everybody. You can't stop it. AI is learning from us right now. Very good. So you don't have to store any data because it's automatically stored on eBay. You're just going to create and fetch to get the listing. That's so smart. So no need to store the listing. No, we don't store it. eBay stores it. We don't have to do that. Been flipping good. What's the best way to contact you? You can contact me on Instagram. That's probably the best way. Where are we? Questions. In the past, you've mentioned scanning items to discover the retail arbitrage. What app and equipment did you use? I've never personally used them. I just know about them. I don't have any experience with that personally, but in the chat for Sarkin, if you use any kind of apps to scan for retail arbitrage in the app, throw them in. The Lake Exchange says they can't stand Tampa Bay and was pulling for Toronto. Will Better Lister have an option for calculated shipping? We do have that option. And we also have the option to put in your template. So that way you can either take the generated description or you could put your own template description on there. So we're also continuously adding every single day improvements and upgrades and tailoring this thing exactly how everybody wants it. So that way, 1 day, hopefully everybody will be able to use it. Our golf clubs selling. My man Calby does very well for golf clubs. How are important things to consider before turning on international shipping? I would do the eBay global shipping program. That's what I use. You ship it out to eBay, they handle the rest. If it never shows up, if the buyer wants to return it, if it breaks, if it gets lost, you keep your money. eBay will handle the customer. So of no charge, you don't have to learn anything differently. All you do is ship it to the eBay fulfillment center. They handle the rest. So look into eBay international shipping, and they take care of everything. Crystal says, hello. All right, here we go. Thank you, Pop. Last 5 years, the state of Florida has won 4 Stanley Cups. Very good. Only trophies. That's all I care about here. Only trophies. Why don't you wear the Tekken shirt? I have a few of them, but the Tekken shirt, the Tekken sports shirts are cotton, and I don't really like cotton a lot. I like the dry fit much better, but I wear them time to time. Next week, I'll wear one. I'll wear one next week. Thank you. I do need to bust out one of those soon. It's been a while. Josh has my favorite core. Core is my favorite core. So core is someone that's all into cores. That core is the best core. It's the all-encompassing core. Best item I can get in Northeast Pennsylvania. They have tons of beautiful items in Pennsylvania. Do you think Better Lister will make sellers lazy, disconnected, not as involved? It shouldn't. I don't know why it would. I think you would be more all in if you're listing more items and selling more items. San Francisco was a wild basement video. Man, that basement video, if you look up, hold on, give me 1 second here. I learned about this afterwards. All right. This is looking back, it was a grave mistake of us doing that. All right. So Gene Hackman, all of you guys know who Gene Hackman was. He was an actor. And if you remember, tragically, his wife passed away. And I guess Gene Hackman had Alzheimer's. So it kind of looked like that his caretaker wife passed away. And then he passed away because he wasn't able to take care of himself after that. But his wife passed away from hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, which is a rare rodent-borne disease. And there was so many rodent discards inside of that basement where we could have died from hantavirus. So next time I go into a rodent infested basement, I got to pump the brakes. I can't be stirring up the rodent infestation and bringing all of that dust and breathing it in. So we escaped death by bringing you that video and rescuing those dead stock products. We risked life and death. We also risked life and death when we went up to New York City because we went to parts of Trenton, New Jersey. We went to parts of Trenton, New Jersey looking for dead stock that we had no business going to. And we found fantastic stuff. So I am always on the pursuit, always ready to risk life and death to find the dead stock, to find the good ones, and bring you top quality YouTube entertainment. And when people say, do you gamble? Do you take a risk? Do you take a risk with your money? Do you gamble? The answer is no. I gamble with my life, so I don't gamble with my money. So we could have clocked out and died in San Francisco from hantavirus, or we could have clocked out in Trenton, New Jersey, as I'm walking around with like a backpack full of money in downtown Trenton, New Jersey. But you got to go where the good ones are. It doesn't matter who's out there, what they're doing. You say hello, you be respectful, you dap them up if you need to. You ask them and say, hey, is there any stores around here that have this kind of stuff? And some dudes actually gave us a lead. So, hey, we live to list another day, right? You got to go where the good ones are, folks. Best men use clothing in Northeast Pennsylvania. Definitely do the zip code call, search by your zip code and see what people are finding in your area. Do you prefer buy it now or auction? I prefer buy it now unless it's a rare item or a collectible item or something highly sought after. Dan says listening on the delay, but hit the like button. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. In the chat, what do you do with the emails that you get after listing an item? Do you save them or delete them? I delete them. Hockey fans say that the Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy to win. Floridians would say the Lombardi trophy is the hardest. Oh, man, that was a low blow. Good one, though. Thank you. If I'm on the wait list for Better Lister, how long do I have to wait? It should be very soon because as we continue to build everything out so that way we could get everybody on, because you can't let 10,000 people on the first day. It just doesn't work. We're able to let in larger groups every single day. So like at first we were letting in very small groups, then we were letting in 100 at a time, then we let in 1,000 at a time. But just understand, like, thousands upon thousands of people have signed up, and we're doing our absolute best getting everybody in as fast as possible. How does Better Lister handle the photos with measurements? I feel like it does a very, very solid job. Maybe it's off by a half an inch here or there. We had someone list 60 pairs of pants and one measurement was off by a half an inch. That was Stephen Cooper. I feel like it does a solid job. I think that everyone will just have to come to a trust, a varying level of trust that they have with the software. And I know in the beginning, it could be very hard to trust the software if you've never used it. I went through that. I went through trust issues with the software. I went through that in the very beginning. But I have put through so many listings and launched so many listings that I know deep down in my soul, as someone who is overly protective and a control freak, I know deep down in my soul that the software is is more correct and makes less errors than I do, because we're human beings. I have misspoke and made more errors during the last 1 hour and 5 minutes than Better Lister has made in the entire existence. It's been generating listings for people. So as people, we don't generate 100% accurate listings, and the software will generate more accurate listings to a higher percentage of accuracy than any human being will. So in my opinion, the measurements are pretty solid, and it's only going to get better as the technology continues to improve, and as the technology continues to get better. Where are we? Aren't Better Listed competitors $70 including cross listing? It all depends on how good the software is. If the software is not good and it takes more time to do a listing, or the listing is not good, I don't care if you pay $1. Do not pay money for listings that are not going to sell. And that includes with me. I've already said this on a video. If you guys are going to use Better Lister, do not list items through the software that are not going to sell. I don't want the money. If you're going to list garbage, do not spend money to list them. If you are going to list fantastic items, spend the money. Do not list items that are not going to sell. Period. Whether it's free, a nickel, or 50 cents. Do not spend money listing items that are not going to sell. Only list items, whether you're going to manually do it or have a software take care of it for you, only list items that are going to sell. I do not want you to list items through me that nobody wants and are never going to sell. Don't do it. Only list items that are going to sell through me, please. Pop says Trenton is no joke. We was out there like we live there. We were there. Terry says literally looking for dead stock. we were out there. So you can revise any kind of listing once it's live through the desktop or through the eBay desktop browser on your phone. So you can revise listings on the desktop once they're launched, because we don't store the listing. You can revise listings on the desktop, or you can revise listings by going on the browser of your mobile phone. What is the zip code called? You do a search that pertains to your zip code, and you can select 25 miles away, and it will only give you search results within 25 miles. Because if you watch my videos and I constantly show you G4, Peter Millar, Tommy Bahama, and you live in Wyoming, you need to be looking for Wrangler. You need to be looking for Ranchwear and Pearl Snaps, where I don't find that stuff. So you need to do a search around your area to see what other people are listing and other people are finding and other people are selling. Very good. They said they found me through Phoenix Resale. Yeah, Phoenix Resale. He's opening up a video game store. How about that? Hope he does very well. What are the fees for Better Lister? It's $49.99 per month, and you get 100 listings, so it's 50 cents per listing. And the way that we generate the items, we look at every single photo, and you don't have to press a key. We will generate everything. So it's not like you use the service and got to type in a bunch of stuff. You upload the photos, you generate the listing, you proofread, and like Susan says, you proof and it poofs. Very good. Shroom says, are certified and not certified coins available to list on the app? If anything has any kind of writing or dates or is in a database or in a catalog, those are much easier to do. Odella says, have you tried listing sports cards? Again, anything that has dates, words, categories, or catalogs is very easy to do. Media is very easy to do. CDs, easy. DVDs, easy. Games, easy. Anything that already has a database on the internet is very easy to do. Can you customize the item description area to a standard template? Yeah, you can upload your own templates to your listing. No problem. You just have to do a drop-down box. Easy. I feel like you're more happy than normal. This AI listing thing has made you really happy. I don't get too up. I don't get too down. I always stay the same. I'm stone cold no matter what. I have to come over here and I have to do a job. I'm here to do my job, and my job is to beat the chat. And Sarah, you got the last question, because after this, I beat the chat. So you guys are about to get defeated, folks. Where's the next trip going to be? I'm not sure. We've been home for what, about a month and a half. We were in New York for about 2 or 3 weeks. I really want to go back to New York. We didn't get a fair shake in New York because when we went there, it was a bit rainy, and then I got sick because it was too cold. So we didn't get a fair shake out of New York because I think for like 4 or 5 days, I was in the bed and couldn't do nothing. So, but I think I do have to go to Texas pretty soon. No question. Please get me off the wait list. We're trying, Wendy. We're working on it. Um, do you think Better Lister will be used by thrift stores eventually? I mean, we could probably knock off eventually already. Um, Linda says I'm having fun, just won't admit it. I have fun every single day. If I didn't have fun doing the things that I do, I would not do them and I would go choose to have fun. But I like to wake up and go to the flea market and dominate the flea market. I like to wake up and do the morning call for all you fine folks. I like to do the Wednesday call again for all you fine folks. I love to do everything that I'm doing. And for a long time, I have been very blessed and very fortunate to wake up and do exactly what I want to do every single day. When I had an eBay world domination store, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to wake up and dominate eBay in a worldwide capacity. Once I reach the precipice, I got to go find something else to do. So, I've been having fun the last couple of months developing this software. The software is out. It's been very fun. It's been very fulfilling. And the sky is the limit. And I said it once, I said it twice, I'll say it again. We're going to take this thing all the way. And you could put it on the board and you could take it to the bank. We're going to take this thing all the way. And one day, every single person is going to use this. The lister is opened up. You go to betterlister.ai. We're letting people in every single day. What description does BetterLister generate? It will auto-generate a description. I personally don't mind it. I think it's pretty solid. But everyone has different tastes and different expectations. So you could use your own template if you want to. Next time in New York, take a detour for New Haven for Style Pizza. Man, I've seen that on what is that guy? Dave Portnoy. He does the pizza review. I think I would probably like New Haven. My wife likes Thin Trust, so she would probably like it more. Since Better Lister gives you a perfect listing and a good suggested price, I would assume that you would be able to reduce percentage of promoted listings. That choice is up to you. And you can always edit anything you want to add on the title. You can edit the price. You can edit whatever you want. We'll put the ball on the tee. You just take the swing. Is it able to cross list? No, we don't do cross listing. We just generate great listings and you don't have to press any keys. Sarah says she wants to meet Miss Tech when we go to Wisconsin. Yeah, absolutely. How did you and Gary V cross paths? I don't remember. I think he reached out on Instagram and he sent me an email. And then I went on, a DM. And then I talked to him on email for a little bit. And then he asked me to talk to his guy, Tyler, which is his second in command or his personal assistant. So I talked to Tyler on Zoom a couple of times. And then we went to New York City when we went to the office. And then he sent me tickets to go to VCon. That's where we met Marcus. So he always sends me like sweaters and all kinds of stuff. So like, he is very, very, very generous. And the first time we went up there to go to the office, it actually ended up being Columbus Day. When we scheduled it, it was a few weeks out and, I guess we didn't consider it was Columbus Day and that's when I was there. So it wasn't on him. That's when I was there and the offices was closed and he could have said, hey, offices are closed. Catch me on the next one. But he had a guy on Columbus Day on his day off, Zach, shout out to Zach, who subwayed in all the way from New Jersey on his day off on Columbus Day to meet us at the office and give us a grand tour while nobody was there. So like he could have just said, hey, we're closed, no problem. Because he actually came to Miami when I went to New York on the same weekend because it was a long weekend. So he is very, very generous. He's very, very nice. And when you talk to him, even though he's got a million things going on, he is very, very genuine and in the moment and considering everything that you say. And I think like that's a big difference between a lot of people. And a lot of people will ask you how you're doing, but not everyone will wait for the answer. So I think when you ask people how they're doing, most people really don't care. And guys like him, he'll ask you how you're doing, and then he'll wait for the answer. And a lot of people don't do that. So I have nothing negative to say. He's always been a class act. Whether you subscribe to the hustle or whatever, always been a class act. Overall, like good guy. Will you be allowing Australian sellers onto the lister? We're going to roll it out to the Australian market very, very soon. What does the listing tool do with PSA information on graded cards? It's very easy to read the information and generate it into the listing. Any words is a given. Words are easy. That's why, media is easy, DVDs are easy, video games are easy. Like new in box stuff is very easy. But like if you throw like something difficult like that doesn't have words, that's where it earns its weight in gold. But anything with words on it is very easy. Orlando says they register within the first 3 hours. Like I said, we had 7,500 people sign up in the first 24 hours. So we are working through everybody. How do you do markdowns, and what do you think is better, coupons versus markdowns? That was the very first question that we answered on here today. They both serve different purposes. A markdown will reduce the price, and a coupon will give you a discount on the price that you do have. So a decrease in price will give you a different placement if someone searches high to low. A coupon will give you a different placement if someone searches high to low. So they're both good. They're just two different mechanisms and mechanics. In your opinion, what are the top 3 advantages eBay has over a more basic selling app like OfferUp? Audience, audience, audience. That's it. Audience, audience, audience. That's it. Does the lister make any mistakes with assuming details? Everyone is going to make mistakes, but I think that instead of it being wrong, you just don't agree with it. So like it might use a keyword that is not wrong. You might just feel like there might be a better option. So I think that we will never please everybody on the price, because there's almost 400 people in here. If we ask someone to price, if I say, give me a price for this item, we have almost 400 people, we will get 400 different prices. We will never please everyone on price. We will also never please everyone on the very last keyword on the title. We'll please a lot of people, but we cannot please every single person on the last keyword. So if you feel like you have a better keyword, if you feel like there's a more pertinent keyword, go ahead. We put the ball on the tee, you take a swing. Is it good enough to launch from right there and gonna sell? Absolutely. But if you want to put a better price, maybe $1 more, whatever, go for it. If you want to put one better, more keyword, if you want, you don't have to, but if you want to, go for it. We allow you to edit everything. It will be less incorrect than you are. You have made more mistakes on eBay in your entire life than it has made in its entire life. Absolutely. Does Better Lister allow us to edit the custom SKU? You can edit the custom SKU on the software if you do make a mistake. Absolutely. How do I buy stock in Better Lister? We don't have any stock. Quando says that they are having their AI program make mistakes, like saying the size is large instead of small. We have done very, very good accuracy in terms of accurately describing items. We're very, very good job. Just made a sale from Thumbs Up. Very good. Tony P, my man. Is it safe to list Puma again? I haven't heard of anyone really getting any kind of issues with Puma since that one big sweep. Linda says, here's a bit of advice. While you are waiting to get on Better Lister, take all the photos, get a huge bank of items photographed, and get ready, and you can thank her later. And with that, let's leave it there. Let's spike the football there or score the goal like the back-to-back world champion Florida Panthers. And we have beat the chat. Thank you, everyone, for the conversation. Thank you very much. Josh, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Be great. Thank you.